Good evening. Today is Wednesday, November the 5th, 2025. This is a special session of the School Board of Schools, City of East Chicago. The time now is 6:10. The place, School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. This is being shown via live stream www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a public meeting of the school board to conduct the schools corporation business, and it's not to be considered a public community meeting. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez. Trustee Taylor.
Present.
Madam President Gibson King.
Present. Approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion for the approval of the agenda?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve 2.01.
Second. Motion made by Trustee Gomez, second by Trustee Smith. Now we're going to have our public hearing notice.
Hold on, you need public comment, and then you need a roll call.
Okay, public comment, okay. Are there any comments from the audience? Are there any comments from the audience?
Then you can
Okay.
take a roll call on the approval of the agenda.
Okay, roll call on the approval of the agenda.
Trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez. Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Madam President Gibson King.
Yes. Now we'll have, Attorney Gallagher speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me all right? Okay. I'm pleased to announce that after several rounds of negotiation, we've reached a tentative agreement with the teachers union. I want to go through some high points of the agreement and then go through what is necessary for formal approval of that agreement. So as you know, our legislature came down with mandatory changes that collective bargaining agreements had to have for this year. And we made sure that in the negotiations that we were coming up with a compliant structure that checked all the boxes according to ERB guidance. So for the next year, teachers will receive a 3% raise. And that's for teachers that have had an evaluation the prior year. They'll receive a stipend of $1,100, again, for teachers who had an evaluation the prior year. And then they'll receive $450 one-time payment for attaining a literacy endorsement. The statute mandates that teachers with a literacy endorsement receive a significant increase, and we have tied the literacy endorsement to academic needs. So there's also a 6% increase to the cost of insurance reflective in the collective bargaining agreement. So for final approval of this tentative agreement, what needs to happen is that the tentative agreement be posted to the school's website at least 72 hours prior to a public hearing to allow comment on the tentative agreement. And so you have to comply with the open door laws. You have to give notice of the time and place of the meeting along with the tentative agreement, which you guys have in your board materials.
Sorry, could you repeat that? You said the 3% raise,
Correct.
the Aflac.
I'm sorry? There was a 3% raise, a stipend of $1,100, again, for teachers who have been evaluated the prior year, and $450 one-time payment for attaining a literacy endorsement.
So all that will be in their contract?
It is in the contract,
Okay,
yes.
we don't have the contract.
Yeah, I believe you were provided with a draft of the tentative agreement in the board materials. Yes,
Okay. We just not getting it. We just getting it.
okay.
Madam President?
And you're not being asked to vote on it
Oh, I
tonight,
know
so,
that. I
okay.
just wanted, I was gonna ask him to give me a summary of what he said, but if we got the contract in, I could read it in there.
The contracts were shared with the board yesterday during their weekly update.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes,
Please.
Attorney Gillard, you mentioned 3% raise for teachers who have been evaluated. So do they have to meet like an effective or,
Yeah,
Highly
they do.
effective rate.
That language is remaining the same as it was the prior years. So they have to, attain an effective or highly effective.
okay.
That was not what we agreed to. We said that just an evaluation had to take place. The requirement that the teacher be effective or highly effective is not a state law anymore.
It is not, but if that was not agreed to in the tentative agreement, we could address it. But again, that language remained the same.
And then the medical insurance amounts have not been updated.
Yes, in the tentative agreement, again, that I provided to the school corporation, they were reflected to match the 6% increase.
I think we need to check those amounts.
Okay, we'll check them before it's posted to the website.
Thank you, Ms. Ellen. Thank you. Are there any more questions from the audience? No more questions from you guys? Okay. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I have nothing further.
Okay. All right then, so the next thing we'll do is vote on the agenda. Right, I mean, on the.
There's no vote
No
on-
vote on, I
no
mean, but
vote on it.
approve it.
No vote on the approval.
don't have to
What has
vote
to
it?
happen
Okay.
is, yeah, this is just to provide a summary
Oh,
of
okay.
the tentative agreement. And obviously, we need to make sure that we have a final approved tentative agreement prior to posting it to the website. Once that happens, then that tentative agreement can be voted on for approval. And 72 hours after that public meeting, the board could ratify it. So what is going to happen is prior to the next board meeting, we'll present to you a final version that you could post to the website. And then 72 hours after that meeting, you can approve it and formally ratify it.
Yeah, okay.
Madam President, I have a question.
Yes, trustee Taylor?
As far as the literacy endorsements, are there any stipulations around those? Do they have to obtain it? Do they have a timeline in which they have to obtain it, or how does that work?
It's by January of 2026, January 1st, 2026.
Okay. And if they obtain it sometime throughout the year, then they will have to wait till the following contract, or how does that work?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more questions from the board? Attorney Harris, you got anything to say? Dr. Bonet?
No.
Okay, so, I'm gonna read off well, that was the public forum when Helen got up and spoke. The public testimony will be taken at this hearing pursuant to Indiana Code 20-29-6A regarding teachers' compensation and collective bargaining. Okay, so that's for that. So
I think
now,
we just need to ask if there's any other public comment.
are there any other public comments? Okay, so now we go into our presentation. 5.01, Title 1, 2, 3, 4. Mrs. Hope Snowball? Yeah, can she stand over there at the mic over there? Pardon? Oh, she can't stand? Oh, okay, yeah, so we can hear. Huh? Is a stool over there? Oh, you want to go sit on the stool? We want the people in the audience to see, because they can't see. Can they see her over there? Where's Jeremy? Yes, lad.
Can they see her over there?
That's what we want to know.
I need to ask them, can they see her over there?
Yeah, ask Jeremy.
I will.
Thank you. Huh? Jeremy ain't there? Oh.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, they can see, oh, okay. Well, we wanted to make sure. Okay.
Whenever you get ready.
Good evening, school board trustees.
Can you not speak up because the audience
This is the best voice that I have.
to be able to hear you?
So good evening, school board
What'd you say now?
trustees,
Oh,
superintendent.
let me tell Jeremy, turn the mic up then. Hold on a minute, please. Hey, Jeremy, are you in here? Jeremy said he already has the left as loud as he can go, but if there's some kind of way you could sit in the chair over there, there would be more, the audience and people at home can hear you. He can't even hear you sitting there,
Sit in the chair where?
over there, because he can get better reception over there, if that's possible. Oh, he can explain to you. Okay.
Thank you, Jeremy. Do I need both of them? Thank you. Is that better? Okay, so good evening, school board trustees, Superintendent Dr. Bornay, and community. My name is Hope Stovall. I serve as the Director of School Improvement and Federal Grants. The purpose of this presentation this evening is to provide a status update as it relates to the federal grants. I'll be presenting only on Title I, Title II, and Title IV. Those grants that I actually oversee, I do not oversee Title III or the CTE grants. Next slide, please.
So she's gonna do her presentation. That's what she's got to do. That's what's on here for her. Once she do her presentation, then we'll ask some questions. Once she does the presentation. Oh, we waiting.
Somebody has to navigate the slide deck.
Pardon?
Someone has to navigate
Oh,
the
the
slide
slides.
deck.
Slides for her.
Oh, okay.
I think it's at that.
Oh, that.
Oh, okay. We'll get it together, Ms. Hope.
Oh, thank you, Ms.
You're so kind, thank you. Oh my God, I can't even see that. The mission of School City of East Chicago educates and empowers every student through aligned instruction, meaningful partnerships, and differentiated practices to ensure success in life, college, career, and civic engagement. Our vision, the School City of East Chicago will be a community where all stakeholders collaborate to empower student success, excellence, and innovation. Tonight's agenda, I will be reviewing the application status, again, for Title I, II, and IV, the forfeiture of funds, and the impact on SEC Corporation. Okay. This slide that I have before you depicts what the overall focus of each of the grants are. Title I, to close educational achievement gaps. Title II focuses on recruitment, retention, incentives, and differentiated pay, professional development, and class size reduction. Title IV, well-rounded education, safe and healthy schools, utilizing technology. Okay, these were the preliminary grant allocations that we received for the upcoming school year. Please note that the allocations are not received at the same time. They are received on different dates. Title I, $3.6 million. Again, these are allocations. We received that allocation July 18th. Title II, $286,439.15. We received that allocation on September the 5th. Title IV allocation, $284,106.23. We received that allocation on August 29th. This slide just depicts the overall percentage of the allocations that is reflective of the funds that we receive in our district. Okay, as of today's date, Title I is submitted, Title II and Title IV are extended. This is the application timeline that we have identified or outlined here that we get from IDOE as a preliminary timeline. June 30th is when our pre-application is submitted. This is the beginning of the application process. This started back in 2021, I believe, where IDOE implemented this practice. You cannot submit an application for a grant until you have completed the pre-application process. This process was due on July 1st. We submitted on June 30th. We received notification back from IDOE once submitted that there were some revisions that were needed. On August 13th, we received notification from IDOE that our flex waiver for Title IV had been approved. Excuse me. August 19th was the date that IDOE provided to us to submit those revisions. Those revisions were submitted on that date. August 25th, IDOE requested additional information as it related to CSI and TSI. Next slide, please. On August 27th, we fulfilled those revisions as requested by IDOE. Once that had been submitted, we received notification from IDOE that day that our pre-application was approved. I want to pause and just indicate here that once the pre-application is approved, we have to wait for IDOE to open the portal. The portal was not open until September the 4th, 2025, to start the Title I application process. On October the 3rd, we received approval from IDOE for our Title II EdFlex waiver. October 29th, the Title I application was submitted. I had the opportunity to view some of the comments made from the October 28th board meeting, I believe, was asked. And so I just want to highlight some of the sections that are involved in the Title I application process. The non-pubs is a major section of the application. It actually drives the completion of the Title I application. Currently, we have 2 schools that I have indicated here, Highland Christian and Indiana Horizon Academy. These are students or families that reside in East Chicago, but they attend those schools. And so as a result, as you know, Title I funds follow the students. And so this is the allocation that was presented to these 2 schools based on the number of students that are in attendance. And so they will use these funds to support PPE per student, as well as parent engagement. And so they use these dollars for instruction and for professional development. Indiana Horizon is located over in Merrillville, 3 students, and this is what their allocation was for those 3 students. Next slide. We have 2 schools that we've always served as the direct LEA for. Bishop Noll Institute, they have 129 students. This is their allocation for the 25-26 school year. And then St. Stan's at the bottom. They have 111 students, and this is their allocation at the bottom. We picked up 3 additional non-pub schools this year. School City of Hammond was serving as a direct LEA for St. Cashmere, St. John Bosco, and St. John the Baptist. So just to give you a little historical data, when you're starting this process, and this also has to be done before we submit the pre-application, you have to have consultations with each of the non-pub schools to review what the needs are for each of the students. Each of the non-pub schools are responsible for submitting a student roster for eligibility. That's where this number comes from, where you see located next to each of the schools. And so when they submit that roster to us, they have to tell us the name of the student, their parent or guardian, their physical address. They also have to tell us their STN number, their grade level, whether they have a need for reading, they have a need for math, if they need extended time before school or after school, if they require summer school, if they are a migrant student, if they are an English language proficiency level student, if they are a SPED student, and if they are in poverty. This is all based on ADM data from the previous school year, October 1st. ADM stands for Average Daily Membership. And so all of that data is used to determine what the allocation will be for each of the non-pub schools. Now, this is the lengthy part, because once we receive those rosters from the principals of the non-pub schools, we physically have to look up each student. So I'm going to use Bishop Noll as an example. We physically have to look up each student to determine, A, if they are indeed a resident of East Chicago. Then we have to look up, utilizing what's called the block roster, to determine if they were going to one of the schools here in SCEC, which school would they be attending? Then we have to determine, of that number, based on what they provided to us, how much would be allocated as relates to the number of students who are in poverty. Again, each school is required to have an LEA consultation. We have to upload those consultation forms as part of the pre-application process. Next slide. The approval process for the grant application, it has 2 tiers. The first tier is that it's reviewed by the federal grant specialist for approval. Each federal grant specialist here in the state of Indiana has approximately 100 LEAs that they are assigned to. And so once that tier 1 level has met the federal grant specialist for approval, it is then forwarded to the Director of Federal Grants for approval, which is the tier 2. Most people do not realize that the Title I grant application process has a 2-tier process before you're actually granted approval. Next slide. FledX waivers. I'm not going to read that, but you guys can see that,
No,
if that's okay.
no. I'm only saying that because they need to understand what that Flex waiver is. I know what it is, but the community needs to know what.
Not a problem. So the EdFlex waiver is a program through the U.S. Department of Education. Excuse me. Elementary and Secondary Education Act, which is ESSA, that grants states the authority to waive certain education requirements that may prevent local schools from improving education. EdFlex waiver number 2, the waiver provides increased flexibility in paraprofessional requirements. EdFlex waiver number 4, this waiver provides increased flexibility in Title IV spending requirements for LEAs that receive over $30,000. The Title I application is not part of the FledX waiver process. Next slide. This is the information when we're getting ready to apply for a FedEx waiver, Flex Ed waiver that we are required to post on our district website. So if anyone is interested, this information is located on the district website under the Finance tab. It has to be published. Next slide. Okay, I want to provide you some historical data as it relates to the grants. I also want to say that regardless of who sits in this seat, I think information like this should be provided at the onset. I literally just found this information out 2 weeks ago as it relates to the historical trends of the spending as it relates to Title I. So fiscal year 21-22, under the leadership of Interim Superintendent Finley, I have the business manager listed, which was Ms. Simmons, and the federal grants manager, Ms. Castro. The application was started July 11, 2021. It was submitted October 29, 2021. It was resubmitted between IDOE and the school district 7 times before approval was granted March 29, 2022. Next slide. Following year, 22-23, under the leadership of Dr.
Abrego.
Thank you, Dr. Abrego. Ms. Simmons was still our business manager. Federal grants coordinator was Ms. Castro. The application was not started till October 17th, 2022. The application was not submitted until December 6th, 2022. It went back and forth between the school district and the state 10 times before final approval was granted April 21st, 2023. During that fiscal year, we forfeited $660,653.99 because the waivers were not applied for. We also forfeited additional funds because the EdFlex wasn't applied for, $295,041.55. Next slide. Fiscal year 23-24, this is under the leadership of Mr. Mitchell. Ms. Simmons was still our business manager. Ms. Castro was the grants coordinator. The application was submitted June 27th, 2023. Was started June 27, 2023. It was not submitted until November 1st, 2023. Back and forth 9 times. Final approval for this grant was not granted to almost the end of the academic school year, May 22nd, 2024. This particular year, we forfeited $1.3 million in funds because of no waiver. Then because the EdFlex option was not applied for, we forfeited an additional $915,879.57. That's a lot of money to be forfeited. Next slide. 24-25, under the leadership of Dr. Bornay, again, Ms. Simmons, still the business manager. We had a grant consultant that came in, Mr. Williamson from Mozzie. The application was started July the 11th, 2024. It was submitted August 30, 2024, resubmitted twice. Last year, this grant was approved December 8th, 2024. Next slide. Okay, the current school year, again, under the leadership of Dr. Bornay, Ms. Simmons serves as the business manager. I am the federal grants manager. The application portal, again, as I stated earlier, was not opened until September the 4th. We submitted October 29th. And then we will be submitting revisions as they come from IDOE. Next slide. Just in terms of notes that comes from the title director meetings, we have these meetings monthly, and these are individuals that are coming together with professionals from the IDOE office, as well as individuals who oversee the grants from different LEAs within the state of Indiana. So all Title I grants will always start with the federal award date of July 1st because it functions from the fiscal year. Again, all Title I grants, as I just communicated, require a 2-tier approval process. Again, Tier 1 is the federal grant specialist. Tier 2 is the director of grants. IDOE is currently understaffed. I was just in a meeting with the IDOE staff this past Thursday. Each federal grant specialist, again, as I shared, has approximately 100 LEAs. The director of federal grants at IDOE actually resigned September the 5th from IDOE, which is the Tier 2 approver. Over 98% of the state does not have an approved Title I grant. This was as of last Thursday. As of today's day, meeting October 30th, which was last Thursday, IDOE has indicated that the focus right now is working with those school districts who have yet to submit the Title I pre-application before they move on to the first tier process. So again, in terms of terms that you can be familiar with within this process, again, we get the preliminary allocations. I shared those numbers and the dates with you. Encumbrance is a key term in this process, liquidations, and then federal accountability. Preliminary allocation, a grant preliminary allocation is an initial estimated amount of grant funding given to a recipient for planning and budgeting purposes before the final amount is determined. It serves as a starting point for budgeting and can be revised later as more accurate data becomes available or as other funding factors change. To grant an encumbrance, or more commonly to record an encumbrance, means to reserve a portion of an allocated budget for a future expense or commitment. This is done when a purchase order or contract is issued, but before the actual payment is made for the goods or services are received. Liquidation, we'll go through this process. Our liquidation deadline date is December 15th of this school year. This is where we draw down funds, request payment from the awarding agency for costs that were properly obligated, committed during the active period of performance. We will reconcile all financial expenditures related to the award. We will return any unobligated or unspent funds to the awarding agency, and we will submit all required final financial and performance reports. Federal accountability relates to the Comprehensive Support and Improvement, CSI. Schools are identified for CSI due to the lowest performing 5% threshold. Targeted School and Improvement, TSI. Schools are identified for TSI due to consistently underperforming student groups, the lowest performing 10% over 2 years. Additional Targeted Support and Improvement, ATSI. Schools are, schools are identified for ATSI due to consistently underperforming student groups, the lowest performing 5% threshold over 4 years. This is just a slide indicating our encumbrance date, which was September 30th. And then again, as I just stated, we'll liquidate December 15th. These are the balances for Title II. Encumbrance date, liquidation date, just within the past month, fiscal year 23 was scheduled to encumber this school year, but the state extended fiscal year 23 by an additional year for both Title II and Title IV. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, these are the allocations for fiscal year 22, 23, and 24 As you can see, 22 and 23, they both have a zero balance. The only active grant for Title IV currently is fiscal year '24. From the Title I Directors Meeting that was held on October 20th, I have added what was included on our agenda. Title I updates, questions, Northwest. Title I 25-26 application approvals. Almost no districts have an approved direct approval. Only know of one in the state of Indiana, because it's a two-tier process. As of November 1st, 2025, there are no funds in jeopardy of being forfeited as relates to Title I. Impact on the corporation. The corporation implemented a hiring freeze at the start of the school year for some grant-funded positions. We have since reviewed and evaluated staffing and vacancies and resumed hiring for paraprofessionals and other positions which are not grant-related. As of November 1st, there is no additional impact on the corporation. Reduction in force, certificated staff selected to be terminated pursuant to this policy shall receive the initial notification of possible contract cancellation required by the policy code listed there between May 1st and July 1st, preceding the proposed cancellation of their contract with the board. Thank you.
Okay, does that conclude your report, Ms. Hope?
That is the end of the presentation.
Okay, now I would like to ask, are there any questions from the audience? Trustee Taylor, do we have a sign-up sheet? You can take a talk now. Yeah, whoever signed up.
I'm a little confused. Are we doing questions on the presentation, or are we moving on to public comment?
We're gonna go ahead on because, yeah, we're gonna move to public comment first, and then we'll do what we have to do.
And the board's going to ask questions or make comment afterwards?
Yes. We wanna
Okay.
ask, because we always ask the audience first.
But
Doing
you're
a
just
regular
asking for
meeting.
regular comments, not the public comment portion of the meeting?
Yeah, because they
Right.
signed up to speak. So I'm just asking right now, do anybody have any questions from the audience? So, pardon?
Any questions related to the presentation?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So now we can ask them to come. Well, we're gonna, some people signed up, so we're gonna get them
We do that
first.
last.
I thought we do ours last according to.
No.
Okay,
What you did was ask for public comment. Nobody had any
Okay.
public comment on this topic.
okay.
Now you
Then
move
we'll
to.
ask, okay, any interest? Okay, are there any questions, from the board? Yeah, go ahead, Mercedes Taylor, trustee Taylor.
Good evening, Ms. Stovall. Did you provide any of the state confirmation receipts or documentation to support the presentation?
Do I have documentation? Is that your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that provided to us, or?
I didn't hear what she said. What'd she say?
Did you provide those state confirmations with receipts in regards to the paperwork that was submitted that supports the timeline?
I can provide any additional that's requested. I know that one request was sent to the superintendent that was shared with the board. He forwarded that information. I saw that information shared in in the board presentation previously.
Okay. So,
And that communication came directly from IDOE, from the grant specialist.
okay. I guess I was probably expecting those to be part of the presentation as well. So let me just kind of roll it back a little bit, just to make sure you understand the timeline. So on June 30th, you said the pre-application was submitted?
Correct.
Okay. And the due date was July
First,
1st. Okay, great. And then when did you say it came back for, I guess we had some revisions to do on it?
I need somebody to take the slide back so I can see.
Oh, that's okay. I'm not clear this shit.
No, keep going back. Go back one more. So initially, we were notified August 5th, and we had until the 19th to make those requested revisions.
Okay, so we were notified August 5th that we had some revisions to do on the application we submitted June 30th.
For the
We submit-
pre-application.
I'm sorry?
For the pre-application.
For the pre-application, correct. So we received those revisions August 5th. And then August 19th, it says pre-application revisions requested. What's the difference between August 5th and August 19th?
That should say submitted. My apologies, that should say submitted.
All right, so we resubmitted the application, the pre-application on August 19th, and then it was approved on August 27th.
Correct, after we got a request for more revisions on the 25th.
So this timeline says August 27th, request fulfilled.
From the additional request from August 25th. So on that last line, they requested information as it relates to CSI and TSI.
Okay. So we submitted that on August 25th. Then on the 27th, the pre-application was approved.
It was approved the same day we submitted, yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, are there any supporting documents to that?
We just have the emails that we get from IDOE that says what they need. That's their process.
So you received an email?
They send the school district an email saying that we have reviewed your application. And there's also a pre-application tracker for the entire state, and so they will list those notations there as well. But they send us an email as a quick at a glance because we don't get an alert as a district regarding the pre-tracker. So they will send us an email letting us know specifically what we need to revise and submit back.
Okay. All right, so then you stated that the Title I application window, the portal opened on September 4th. But what was the actual timeframe or window for the application to be completed?
So the initial submission date would have been September 19th. So we would have, from that date, it would have been 11 working days.
September 19th was what date again? I'm sorry?
No, I'm saying between the date that the portal was open and the submission date, it was 11 working days.
Okay. And so about just staying on the pre-application for a quick second. So I know in the email I submitted to you, or I asked you several questions, and just so I get an understanding, could you explain, and I don't know if you have that email with you?
I don't.
Okay. So I had asked within the email regarding the team capacity in the process. So, and I had stated, given the importance of federal funding, I would like to better understand how the responsibilities were delegated within your team to ensure all tasks, reviews, and deadlines were met without interruption. Could you kind of give us a synopsis or a description of what that looked like? How did the team collaboration impact the pre-application?
So I was not present during this time last year when this work was done. So when I learned that there was a pre-application process that was required, I inquired in terms of what the process was. And so there are about 8 of us that met, because that's what they did previously, to complete the multi-sections of the form, the pre-application, because there's curriculum questions on there, there's information related to special needs, there's information on there related to parent engagement, for example. So collectively, we met, I actually sent a calendar invite out for us to come together to work on that application. When we did come together, Dr. Yanders had completed, for the most part, a good portion of the application, and there were some sections that still needed to be filled in by others. So that committee consisted of myself, Ms. Gutierrez, Dr. Yanders, Ms. Poe, trying to think who else was in there, Ms. Alvarez, all working on those various sections of that pre-application.
Okay. You also stated earlier that Title II and IV were extended. Does that mean that they have not been submitted?
That does mean that, yes.
Okay. And what are those due dates?
14th, week from Friday,
14th of,
September, November.
they're both due on the same day, November 14th?
Yes, they're not as intent
Okay.
as the other one.
So that means we're on track to have those submitted on time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Sure, I had all my questions. I did write them out. And just so I could, now, I was not present on Saturday's meeting, but I did get to watch it when I got back. Was this the same presentation? Was there something different that I missed?
I updated certain sections. So for example, there was one historical trend school year that was missing, that was not included. That would have been the 23-24 school year. There was not any information related to the non-pub schools. I added that into the presentation. And then there was no information as relates to the allocations and the balances for Title IV. I added that into the presentation.
Those balances, by any chance, are those like actual current balances, or do they reflect any cash requests or reimbursements?
So those are the allocations. Next slide. I'm going forward. One more. Keep going forward, I'm sorry. You think,
August the 17th.
there you go. That's Title II. Title IV FY '24, that balance is a little less. We just had an ACH to come in for approximately 28,000. That's been subtracted from that balance.
Okay. So are we saying that these do reflect?
Cash reimbursements, right, so 22 and 23, all that we can request from the allocation has been claimed with the state.
Okay. Okay, it's got two more questions, and I'll pass the baton over. Anything you could speak to in regards to a comparability report being submitted?
I'm actually probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from submitting that. There's some data I have to get from the data team to complete that.
Okay,
So that'll be done before November 15th.
before November 15th?
I mean, that's the actual due date, but
Okay,
probably get done, submit
Alright.
tomorrow if I get the data that I need.
all right, and then lastly, as of today, what is the status of our application?
We're waiting to hear back. We submitted October 29th.
October 29th, okay. Okay, I don't think I have anything further at this moment.
Okay, thank you, trustee Taylor. Trustee Gomez.
I just have a few questions. As you're putting together the numbers for this application, you mentioned the individuals that you had on this team. You had no mention of principals. Did you not work with them?
We work with the principals when we're doing their visions of what they would like to include for their budget, because I have to include, we have the application process includes a budget page for each building. So we include their vision in terms of if they want to do academic tutoring during the school year, we want to make sure that we budget for those type of items in their individual budgets.
And then, I can't remember which slide it is, but regarding the 24-25 application, that was submitted by Mr. Williamson?
That was last year, yes, it was submitted before I got here.
And then, so this one, you were listed as the individual who submitted for this year. Dr. Williams, or Mr. Williamson's contract ended some time ago with us. When was the last communication you had with him?
I have to go back and check my email or my phone call, because sometimes I call him to ask a question.
Would you say it's in the past month, week?
I don't know for sure.
You'll provide that to the board then?
What was that?
You'll provide that information to the board?
If I made a personal phone call to him?
Any communication you've had with Mr. Williamson?
From my personal phone? No.
You're using your personal phone to conduct school city business?
Excuse me?
You're using your personal phone to conduct school city business?
Absolutely not.
That's what you just said. I'm requesting the communication, emails or phone calls to Mr. Williamson. And when did you request the extension? I may have missed that. I didn't see it on the timeline slides.
I don't have that date in front of me. I know the information was forwarded to the school board trustees from the state.
I know there's other questions. I'll defer. I have two more, but I can wait on those.
So, Madam
Trustee
President,
Smith, yes.
yes. Okay, I'm looking,
Yeah, you.
okay, I'm looking at your application historical data. You said
You looking at
you've
what, Ms. Smith?
only resubmitted to IDOE 2 times. Go all the way back to Dr. Finley. Okay, no, not Marlon, all the way back. Okay, there's an explanation for that. And I know that what you all are trying to say is that because it's only been submitted 2 times from us, they did it 10 times, 12 times, whatever. But there is a reason for 2021-22. First of all, we had just came out of COVID. Second of all, Dr. Finley was only a contractual. She was only on a contract as a
Consultant.
as a consultant, as a interim superintendent. So legally, that's just something to just show where maybe we fell through the cracks, but she did her job. And then the second time, you said 7 times, well, she was here only on a contractual basis, of course. Now go to the next one. Then you said Dr. Abrego. Now, the same person here from over our federal grants, Ms. Castro, was under Dr. Finley. Now, Dr. Abrego, let's get this straight, Dr. Abrego was trying to get Ms. Castro to do her job, which she did not understand, and he had to hire, he and Marlon Mitchell, Dr. Marlon Mitchell got together and they hired Mozzie, but in the meantime, Dr. Abrego was let go. So that 10 times mean that it wasn't incompetent, it was just that we didn't have the right person at the right time. Now go up to Dr. Mitchell. So when Dr. Mitchell was an interim superintendent, he was not the superintendent. We had between Dr. Mitchell, between Dr. Abrego being leaving and Dr. Mitchell being the interim, that's when they came together and got the Mozzie Corporation. That's how you were able to be trained by Mozzie, was through Dr. Mitchell. So Ms. Cindy Castro, you said it was resubmitted 9 times. Yes, it was, probably, because she had no idea what she was doing. That's how we ended up getting Mozzie, and that's how we ended up getting Mozzie to mentor you. So I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't particularly care for that, because if you don't know the particulars of what happened, that should not even have been there. And I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. So now you say you only did it 2 times. So how many times you think you're going to get
No, ma'am.
resubmitted?
That's not what I communicated.
No. I'm asking you this question right here now.
No, but I want to clarify from the comment that you just made.
No, go ahead.
This information comes directly from the state. This is not Hope Stovall's information. So School City of East Chicago provides IDOE this information.
And you're
so
absolutely correct.
And so IDOE has on record these individuals listed in these specific roles. Mozzie's not listed anywhere for any of these academic school years until 24, 25.
And that's when Ms. Castro was retired, and that's when you came in under Mozzie. I'm just trying to get clarification, because if you want to say one superintendent did it 10 times, another one did it 7, you don't know the particulars and what they put downstate, but you don't know the making of the reason why we didn't have a stable superintendent, and Dr. Mitchell was an interim. I'm not trying to cause an argument, but I'm just trying to let you know that, let the community know all of this took place right after COVID. We didn't have we only had an interim superintendent, and we kept having interim superintendent. Dr. Abrego saw the problem, and that's when the ball started rolling to try to get our funding back. So I'm not saying that they're not without fault, but don't try to act like maybe because you just did it 2 times, it's gonna go through. It might not go through this time.
So I haven't done anything 2 times.
No. You said we submitted it 2 times.
That was Mozzie. I was not here
How many
last year.
times? Okay, go back. Okay, so.
That clearly says
start date,
Mozzie.
Okay, go back to 24, 25. Mozzie helped you do this in.
No,
what is that,
Mozzie did not help me do this because I was not present
Okay,
during this time.
you got hired when, November the 8th. Okay, you got hired November the 8th. 24th. Mozzie came in, what did I do with that paper, Chesty? Mozzie came in under contract.
For 6 months.
Mozzie was hired in from January to June 2025.
Right.
So I'm just saying, do the math, make me a believer. So you said it was submitted 2 times. Okay, well, maybe you might be better than the rest of them. But right now, where are we? You said 2 times. We still haven't gotten a final approval for you. I mean, for this district for now.
Well,
So-
nobody, I want to reiterate, no one, with the exception of one school district in the state of Indiana,
Okay,
has
so.
been approved.
Can you just do us a favor? Can you give us all of the paperwork that you have? Because we don't have everything. We only have weekly reports. I'm asking right now.
Weekly
Because
reports.
you said we're not in any harm, danger. Yeah, we are. Now, my other question too, we'll go back to that. My other question to this is, you said that we weren't in harm, danger. Now, did you or Dr. Bornier go to the state and provide a waiver for them to use operational funds for educational funds?
Not
Did
the
you all do
process.
that?
That's not the
Did you know that
process.
was a law, that you have to do that?
That's not the process. And so.
But what is the process?
When we met with the state, I'm just the messenger. I'm communicating what IDOE has communicated to the LEA.
Well, I am too, and a waiver has to be submitted, which has been done, but it wasn't done by you all. So I'm just letting you know. I'm not trying to get on you. We're just tired of, we don't know, we're in a turmoil right now. My district is up in an uproar. We don't know which way to go. One person say one thing, one person say another. We need complete documentation.
So, Ms. Smith.
So that we won't have to do, you said we're not in any harm's way? Okay, we gotta pay all these schools, all this money. Where's that money coming from?
We have to pay
The
what
parochial
schools?
schools. We have to give them X amount of.
Where the Saint stand, Saint Casimir, where's their money at? Where are they getting paid from?
It comes from the same pool. They have not spent any of their monies for this upcoming school year.
But we give them that money. From my
No, the
understanding.
money stays here. We serve as the LEA.
Right.
Whatever they request,
Right.
they send their invoices and stuff to us and we process.
Right, but
They
we
don't order anything without getting approval.
But we don't have the money. That's what I'm saying. So, let me chime in here. This presentation that you all seeing here was done November the 1st. The only things that was different, what did you say was different, Mrs. Hope, on this presentation here?
I added the non-pub information equitable share.
Yes, and
from
the
From the
non-pubs have,
from the eligibility consultation,
yes,
based on the information that they provide to us, based on their
Right.
ADM and the process
so
that's
that was
involved.
the only thing that was different. So, they
No.
have not been in receipt of any monies either because we don't have the money, okay? We don't have the money. And right here, like I said, there's $3 million some odd dollars, okay? We don't
President
have,
Gibson King,
excuse me.
so I think there's a statement that you insist on making, and I think it's erroneous because you keep saying we don't have the money.
We don't have it. It says it's not, hold on a minute, I'm talking. So it says right here,
But I
not
need to
approved,
pause
okay?
so that we can clarify,
Okay,
since the public has a right to know.
okay, go ahead. Do we have the money?
The statement that we insist on making, we don't have the money,
Right.
is not different from any other fiscal year.
You say it's not different from what
So
now?
if Ms. Simmons, the Executive Director of Business Operations, is present,
Yeah.
if you require her to come and expound on.
Oh, I'm gonna do
our
that when you let me
typical-
finish talking. I was gonna do that anyway, so let me finish my point, because, okay? Let me finish my point, because Leela is in here, and we're gonna have Ms. Simmons come and expound on that. But I'm gonna expound on what I do have, the money that Leela Simmons has been paying out, $400 and some odd $1,000 that she has been paying out, and reason being is because we do not have the money. Am I correct on that? We don't have that money. Because because why would
I
she
think
be?
you misunderstood.
Why would she, I'm just talking for what you give me, okay? So why would she be paying this money out? For what reason? Okay, that's what I'm saying, okay? And I said that Saturday. I'm not gonna change what I said. We're looking for some answers. And so you wanna give us the answers now, but we've been waiting on some answers for you for a long period of time. And apparently all this paper that I have, it shows that there's something that's not right. Because we find ourselves right here, right now, with no, I'm gonna say, I have not seen no verification or anything that Mrs. Hope said that we have these dollars. We don't, I ain't heard her say not one time do we have the money.
So,
my
Madam
question-
President,
Yes,
if I may, so I understand what you're saying, but the question that stands out for me from looking at the historical data. So if we have past years where we didn't get an approval to almost the end of the academic school year, how do we support building leadership to support and meet the needs of children in the building?
Well, I'll
What
answer
do we
that.
done? What do we do in the previous years?
I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question for you.
What do we do?
Because, so it sounds like to me, you trying to compensate for something that we did in the past and make what happened now be okay. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, ma'am.
That's what it sounds like. You asked me a question, that's just what it sounds like. You're trying to compensate something that happened in the past. I wasn't on this board then, let me tell you that now.
You were
But I'm
not on the board?
No, I was not. I'm on the board now. And so what's happening right now is what I'm finna address. I ain't finna address nothing happening in the past. I don't know nothing about it, but I know what's going on right now. So in the meantime, for you to keep saying that and showing that procedure there, that's not, we shouldn't, so why would you show that? It makes me think that, okay, well, since you've been late or whoever been late, then that's supposed to compensate our district being late all the time. We're not trying to be late with this money because we are a Title I school. And there are other people, from my understanding, that have to get paid out of these dollars, not just only us. So I'm gonna go back to the RIF, like I said before. Dr. Bornay had 10 people that was supposed to be RIFed. And I'm gonna say because we didn't have the money to pay them, okay? But he decided not to do this RIF, and so that was in July, he did this RIF. And so by him not doing the RIF was when Mrs. Simmons started paying these people in the same month that he did not do the RIF. And the money, and these dollars are still being spent right now as we speak. So why are we keep spending these dollars here if we got this money?
So it doesn't work that way, and you're not saying it
Okay.
correctly, Madam President.
Okay, go ahead, correct me then.
So every year, again, it's just an allocation. And once we get that approval letter, the approval letter is going to be dated back to July 1st of
Right.
that fiscal academic school year. And so the communication that has come from IDOE on multiple occasions, on those meetings held specifically by IDOE and in the directors' meetings, that this is not uncommon. And so school districts or LEAs typically take up the slack until you get the approval of the grant. Once the approval comes through, whatever fund those individuals have been paid from, they will charge it back to the grant, and then that funding source is reimbursed. That's how that works.
Okay, that's fine, but going back to where you're saying that this happened before, the individual that allowed this to happen, that individual was terminated for the mere fact because this was not supposed to be the way this happened.
What happens?
What she did. grant was not turned in.
Could we
it was
refrain from
late.
discussing
Excuse me.
personnel actions?
I'm explaining the screen.
Could we
Okay, then
refrain
you
from
have,
discussing
you
personnel?
had her name up there, you showed that. I wouldn't have never brought it up if it was never up there, 'cause so to me, it's like when you show that, you're trying to justify something. I'm just trying to answer what I'm seeing here, okay?
You're doing
So
it
the funds,
incorrectly.
the funds was late 10 times, as they say on the screen.
No, we're not saying it was late 10 times. What we're communicating is, once you submit, if there's something that is not satisfactory
Right.
to that first level reader, they're gonna send it back.
Right.
And ask you to correct it.
Right, that's right. So it was late, it was need to be corrected, it was not processed right. And so for them to go 10 times like they did, something was wrong. They
It's
keep
not,
sending it back.
it's so many different variables and factors in terms of why it could not be submitted. So they could send a application back and ask you, why do you have this particular staff position in the grant? How does that position support academic performance of a student? Not an uncommon question. So if we put a staff person in the grant and IDOE comes back and says, that position is not going to be approved, it's gonna have to be taken out. So they will kick it back for that reason. That's an example.
Well, I'm just saying, people that have put in for grants and have been approved, I have notification letters that they were approved here. Okay, I have 2 letters that people were approved when they got these dollars. So we don't have any notification letter, as Mrs. Taylor asked for some documentation to show where we at with this process.
There are no approval letters to give because IDOE is short-staffed. They have not replaced the Tier 2 person that resigned in September. So even if a school district hypothetically submitted an application on August 10th, guess what? It's still sitting on the desk at IDOE. There are some things that we just have no control over, and that's one of them. We can't control if IDOE is short-staffed. We can't control if they do not have a second-level Tier 2 approver. They are backlogged. I did an amendment for Title II. What typically takes 2 weeks to get a response took 12 weeks.
Madam President, may I?
Yes, Trustee Taylor, please.
Hey, Ms. Stovall, I just have a couple follow-up
Go
questions.
ahead, hon.
And I'm just trying to understand, because I just feel like that there were some gaps, and I don't know where they're at, and I'm just trying to, and that's why I needed the documentation to help me just get a mind map of how all this processed. So the pre-application was submitted June 30th. Who submitted the pre-application?
We did. I submitted the pre-application on behalf of the
You
school
submitted it yourself?
district.
Okay.
On behalf of the school district, once the team that worked on it was in agreement with the information. At that time, we still had Mozzie working with us as a consultant. They also reviewed the pre-application to make sure that we were not missing any specific information. So basically, all of our i's were dotted and t's were crossed.
Okay. So we got the pre-application approved on August 27th. And then the portal opened on September 4th. During those 7 days, was there any work done outside of the portal?
We had already completed what was required at that time, and at the time, it was the consultation with the non-pub school. So at that time, it was only Bishop Knoll and St. Stans.
Okay.
We got notification from School City of Hammond that they were no longer going to serve as a LEA for St. Bosco, St. Baptist, and St. Kashmir.
Okay. So did we start the application outside of the portal, or did we wait until September 4th to then start? I guess, when was the original date that the application was due?
The preliminary date was September 19th.
Is what date?
September 19th.
September 19th, and we didn't have the portal open until the 4th.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, we do not open the portal. That's opened by the state.
Correct. But do we do like pre-work before the portal so that when the portal's open, we could just get in there and put the information in?
So we did, what we could. So also keep in mind, because I was not here during that initial process, and based on the presentation that was made at the end of May by Mazi in terms of additional support that would be needed for this role, I believe that was on the agenda as an as-needed basis for additional support.
Yeah.
And with the last time being August the 12th, that it was on the agenda, and we were still not able to move forward with that request.
Okay. So that goes back to my original question in my last questioning. Because I mean, I understand things happen, we have to address, whatever we have to address personally, but when you have a team, what communication or what handoff happened in order to make sure the ship kept moving so that you could, because you weren't here, as you just stated, so that who picked up the ball? Were we able to get this, get the process moving while you were out?
Which process? Because I handled the consultations with the non-pub schools.
Okay, so when I asked,
So if you're asking Ms. Taylor or Dr. Taylor, I'm sorry, I don't want to not call you correctly by your title.
Ms. Taylor's fine,
Okay, so
or
if
Trustee
you-
Taylor's fine as well.
Okay, Trustee Taylor, so, in the portal, the superintendent is listed, the program administrator is listed, and then, the director of finance is listed. And so if you're asking if a baton was passed to complete other portions, no, because the recommendation was to copy and paste from the previous year. Of all the years that I've done grants, that has never been my skill set to do that. And from speaking with the state, they said that's the first thing that they look at, to see if you had any collaboration or thought processes in terms of how you were going to do the application for this year. So as soon as they see that you have copied and pasted from the previous year, they're going to send it right back to you.
Okay, so what obstacles did you encounter between September 4th and September 19th that we could not get the application in on the 19th?
I was out.
So what was the handoff process at that point?
So there was no handoff process.
So it just laid stagnant. So when you came back, you were able to just start the application? That's when you started the application, when you came back?
So I started the application right after Labor Day, but I missed a number of days due to illness in that 11-day window. So again, I want to reiterate, I now had to go back, because you cannot do this application process without all the information from the non-pub schools. And even when I submitted, like, I'm expecting the application to come back, because I'm still waiting on the non-pub schools to give me what I asked for.
Yeah. I guess I'm looking for, what was the divide and conquer collaboration? I mean, for something that is so crucial, and given the historical data that you just made yourself aware of and you were privy to, like, how did that impact the urgency of getting this application processed? Because I guess that's my concern, was there a strong collaboration, divide and conquer? I know you work with a team, and I'm trying to figure out between September 4th and September 19th with the team, why couldn't we get this done if we were already kind of working on it and we were just waiting for the portal to open so we could just put in our information?
Because it does take a team effort.
And I talked with the people too, they told me the date was September the 16th, not the 19th.
I'm not sure where the 16th came from. I heard that date stated aloud in a public setting, but there was never a September 16th date that existed.
Okay, and that's it for me right now. And again, just to confirm, the application is submitted, we're just still waiting on the status right now.
And we have no idea how long that will take because they are understaffed and each LEA has each federal grant specialist has approximately 100 LEAs.
Okay. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you, trustee Taylor. Trustee Gomez.
I find some gaps in the questions and answers. I'm actually curious now to hear from Dr. Yanders and maybe like her input on where things were. We're hearing one side of this story, but
I beg your pardon?
we have an obvious concern, given our history that that we've gone through, and I don't think we have to address that in public, but Dr. Yanders, would you be able to shed some light on where things were at during this whole process?
Really read it.
Yes. Mercedes, yes it is. Yes.
It's the one that's cold right here.
No, she said, I can't say she was cold. So, shed some light as to.
You can use my microphone. She could have used mine. I'm done. Okay, what particular area would you like me to shed some light on?
Just as far as, some of the conversation, and trustee Taylor brought up the issue of a gap there. At any point in time, were you guys communicating with Ms. Stovall about, during her absence, of who was going to fill in this role without knowing when she was going to be returning?
No, there was no communication. While Ms. Stovall was out, I had no idea about the September 19th deadline. We were under the impression that the deadline was September 30th. So while she was out, I did start to complete the application. And what happened? In order to help her out.
Go ahead, trustee Smith.
Okay, you said so by that time you began the application, you started the application? Yes. So then what happened? When she came back, did you complete it, or did she complete it, or was it a preliminary? We just need to fill in the gaps. It's not telling on anybody, we just need some information.
Yeah, because this is really important. Seriously, it is.
And it's not throwing anybody under the rug. We just need some information. Because there's a lot of loopholes in this.
Because I got a letter that says that you, Ms. Simmons, Ms. Hope here, was all part of this project here. And he sent the letter to this lady named Miss Lacy. Miss Lacy and Mrs. I got the information, but just go ahead, because I got paper here.
So during her absence, yes, I did complete the application, but it wasn't submitted because it needed to be tweaked. So I did reach out to the principals. We had also started to converse with the non-pubs to submit that information in order to help Ms. Stovall out because she was not available during that time. Thank you.
But it was one time that y'all was all together doing this project, because Mr. Bonet gave us a letter.
Yes, we worked as a team on the pre-application. Yes, ma'am.
That's what
Yes,
I
we
was-
did.
okay.
We worked as a team on the pre-application. Then we went into the application, completed it, and then everything was deleted.
Yeah, it was deleted, right. Yes, it was.
So
And-
when
and
it-
that- go ahead, Trustee Smith.
I'm sorry, so when it's deleted, you gotta start all over again, correct?
And there was some delays.
And it was deleted because it was copied and pasted from the previous year. And the state had already informed us that that was not acceptable. And so since I'm listed as a program administrator, that's a reflection of me and my character. So it was deleted to add the correct information.
So had you been there, you would have known what the mechanism of
gonna
our
call you
district
Miss Leader.
is. So I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just saying, your absence, you would have known the mechanism of the district and how it would work, so even if they cut and pasted, if your presence were there and you have supervisors and people that are working with you, they should know their job roles because they want to make this district work. That's all I'm saying. So if it was cut and paste, okay, I get that. The state, things do change. The student ratio changes, all that changes. But all I'm saying is, so, I'm just gonna be frank, like, y'all know how I am. My thing is, hey, everybody else come to work, dying, sick, hysterectomies, all of that, all kind of major surgeries. I'm just being real. We come and we communicate, so I don't get it. Ms. Simmons, can you please say?
Shine some light on this, please.
I'm sorry, Ms. Sims, before you speak, I'm sorry, are the trustees implying or making a statement that they were aware that work was done on an application and was deleted by another staff member?
That's what she just got through saying.
She said it.
She said it.
Oh, I believe you mentioned that before that statement was made, so I was curious to know how you would know staff member input and information was deleted if you hadn't been talking to other staff members.
How we talking today? We live here, let me address that for you, sir. We live in the community here, okay? And we are a close-knit community, okay? And so, I got to think now, since you brought that up, there's a policy, yes, but it has never been used in the manner that you've been using it. Okay, let me finish.
Let's not be repetitive with that.
No, I'm not being
So my-
competitive, because I'm
my
asking you a question.
was,
I'm asking it,
So in the community,
yes.
School City of Chicago employees are going around saying a staff member put information in and it was deleted, and it's just all out in the community.
But for that to be said, she just admitted it.
But she made the
That's what it
comment
is.
after it was
She made-
already
she-
shared.
She made the point. You know what I'm saying? You know, however it got to us, the
That
point
was,
was
that
made.
was my statement.
Okay, and then too, like I said, let me finish talking, because like I said, that we have a policy, no problem with the policy, no problem with the policy. But when you took the policy and you may start making individuals
So
sign
you,
it,
you don't have a problem with the policy?
when you have.
Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes, the policy. When you took the policy that made individuals start signing this policy, which that's not what the policy says. Okay, it reads clear what it says, okay?
She said it was cut and paste.
Yeah, that's what she said.
She said it was cut
Yeah,
and paste.
so we ain't said nothing about cut and paste. That's what she's saying here.
Madam President,
So-
could we just kind
Yes,
of
go ahead,
move the meeting along? We have another meeting right after, but I think Ms. Leela
We
has
wanna
something
get
to.
down to-
But can I make a clarification statement? I said it was cut and pasted after the comment had been made, first of all, by the trustees that the application had been deleted. Then Dr. Yanders confirmed what was stated by the trustees. And then I commented for clarification, and I said that it was deleted because it was cut and pasted, which is not acceptable practice of a school district to submit to IDOE.
And all I was saying was that when you came back, that slowed down the process of the application.
It did not. On the outside, on the outside looking in, I could see why you would say that, but the work that still needed to be done
did it?
still had to be done. Yes, ma'am.
That's all I want to know.
So, Mrs. Simmons, can you shed some light on this, please?
Yes, actually, I'm gonna bring this, particular meeting back to the teacher's contract. So there is some information in the teacher's contract that is, need to be corrected, and I'm not for sure what page it's on. So,
Page 6.
Page 6. It needs to be corrected. You got it, Helen?
page 6. So page 6
Write it down, page
has
6.
the teachers getting the raises based on the highly effective and. Okay, page 5, top. Starting at the bottom of page 5, going to the top of page 6. In negotiations, we did discuss removing that wording out, and we're going, Attorney Diller is going to remove it, and it will be based on the teachers having the evaluation for the prior year to get the stipend and raises. Yes, so, we're gonna make that adjustment tonight, and it would be, Takia will make sure everybody gets the correct copy for the meeting on Tuesday, Monday. Oh, okay. I will not be there, so Takia will make sure y'all get the correct copy.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
And also, the insurance information is correct the way it's presented right now.
Oh, okay, what you said. Ms. Leaders, we need to have you shed some light on this here too. Thank you, Mr. Gallagher.
Okay, I'm just gonna shed light on work to close out.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm shedding light on.
You have to push the speaker on?
No, okay. Y'all hear me? Okay. So I'm gonna shed light on me working with 3 prior federal directors, how it went about then. From the time I got here up until 24. So the title was handled by the federal directors. CFO was not involved in that. The federal directors that was in the district did the application. They did the pre-application, then they did the application. There has been times that the state would send it back once, it would be corrected, it would be sent back. Now, I'm not for sure or all that the other numbers came back. Also, it might have been modifications, because we do modifications for title during the year. There's 2 people that needs to sign off on a cash request, and that's the federal director and the CFO. We sign off on it.
Right.
As far as anything else, as far as the application, I work closely with Mrs. Castro on the applications, on the pre-app and her applications. She did her applications in July. She did her pre-apps, that's the pre-app. Her application came up from August to September. So they were submitted. If something that the state wanted her to adjust, they would send it back to her and tell her to adjust it, and that would be it, and it would be approved. That is the process. Now, the one that was approved in March of 2029, March 29th of 2022, you have to understand that we were still dealing with ESSER 1, ESSER 2, title from back then. So the state was dealing with the other stuff and then also trying to approve the current year title. At no time have I not, title funds were not available. Title funds are available through cash requests. I actually put some information in your financials for Monday's board meeting. All titles are requested the cash. So what we do is we get our approval, and we use those funds, and we send in a cash request. Again, there's 2 signatures that need to be on that cash request. It's my signature and the director's signature on the cash request to send it back to the state. So there's more details in your financial packet. Also, this week, I'm sorry I won't be able to attend this meeting. It's the reason why I made sure I put in there. So and as far as the application, to the process of the application, I never stepped in until in 2019 when that federal director abruptly left. And then that's when I stepped in on the process of the application.
You said in 2019?
2019.
We're not, pardon? Yes, 2019.
Yeah, it was right before COVID. We lost our federal director in July that year. And that was, the pre-app was done when she left, and then we had to get in. And as far as the contract with Mozzie contract started at the end of 23, going into 24. It was officially approved by the board, I want to say February or March of 24, and they have been in the district. Contract was supposed to end July of 24. We extended the contract to end December of 2024, and then we extended it again to end June of 25, yes. So he had 2 extensions in there. But he had been in the district since December of 23, going into 24.
And that's when we had the problem with the past,
No, that's when it had anything to do with her. It was, we needed there was no one there in the federal department to do it. So I had to bring in a contractor at that time.
Okay. All right.
So is there any more questions from the board? Are you okay with that, Ms. Hope?
No, I need to take some medicine. I have some.
Yes. She needs some water? No, she said she got some water. So, are there any questions again from the audience?
I just want to get some money.
Okay, then, so we are going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting. And I think, I know, okay, I'm gonna ask for a motion.
Have public comment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah, public comments.
If you could please step to the podium and state your name. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please refrain from discussing any individual personnel matters and be respectful of the board, the audience, and the staff members present. Thank you.
All right, first speaker for tonight, Mr. David Lane.
Good evening, and thanks for taking my comments. I'll make them brief. It's been a long day for all of us. My name's David Lane, 2410 Sandauer Court, Portage, Indiana. I've been teaching in East Chicago for 31 years. I also want to point out that I'm the coach of the sectional championship boys tennis team. We're waiting for an invitation. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for acknowledging us. I was also a member of the negotiating team, and I wanted to publicly acknowledge the hard work and leadership of Ms. Helen Steinbeck, our union president, and also wanted to acknowledge the professionalism and diligence of the members of the administration who negotiated with us. We met 5 times. We very much delved into the numbers, and both sides worked very hard to come to this agreement. So I would like to publicly state my thanks to both sides, and I look forward to a speedy approval of this contract that we worked so hard to negotiate. So thank you for that. And then secondly, and I hope this is the right time for that, I was lucky enough to see 2 productions in our auditorium, one led by our dramatics coach, Mr. Aaron Dunsel, and the second put together by Dr. Leon Kendrick, who the auditorium is named after, and both productions were outstanding. And I did notice an improvement in the technological side of the auditorium, but I wanted to state publicly that many improvements are still necessary. I'm a big supporter of the arts and the kids working so hard, and this group that the auditorium is named after coming in and working so hard. We should present a much more updated auditorium for these productions to be continued in the future. It was brought to my attention that the group Dr. Kendrick brought in needed to buy lights and bring in sound, and both productions should have a high-quality auditorium. And I recognize that improvements have been made, but I do think that we should continue to make improvements in our auditorium so several productions can be put on in the future of such high quality. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. David Lane.
Our next speaker was Ms. Catherine Thomas, but I believe she's no longer here, correct?
Yes, she's.
All right, so that concludes our speakers for tonight.
Yes, what you say, okay, you made a motion?
Go ahead and make a motion.
Oh, yeah, okay, anybody got any trustee remarks?
Is there trustee?
Okay. Jesse Gomez?
No, there are no trustee remarks on the
Oh,
agenda.
it's not? Oh, okay.
You can make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion made by trustee Gomez.
Second.
Second by trustee Taylor. Meeting is over. Roll call. Roll call? Roll call.
Yes.
Jesse said yes. Take care. Okay. Okay.